Hello, welcome back to our small house. We just wanted to go on, these are our boxes that we received for our cabinets, and we just wanted to talk to you about how this process all went on. So I'm just going to ask my lovely wife, because she's the one that worked on it the most, and I sort of took a huge back seat to this because I needed to, right? Or was it had to?
Let's just say you're co-pilot, and you do a good job at being co-pilot.
Okay. You mean co-pilot from the back seat where the babies all are at, right?
Maybe even the trunk.
The trunk. Wow.
You can co-pilot from the trunk.
We can co-pilot from the. Okay. So how did we end up when I got home? And I came turning the corner and we ended up with all these boxes. Take us through this process of how we ended up with the boxes. Where did this all start at?
All right, so obviously I talked to my Lowe's kitchen designer and arranged for a date and a time for the cabinets to arrive. And it was interesting because I was expected to be contacted by Lowe's, but Lowe's had these stored and delivered by an external moving company. So it was them who contacted me with the date and time. And it was actually a student moving company that delivered these boxes, and they were good.
It was a student moving company?
Yes, it was.
Like student?
No, but
was it college level at least?
They were preschoolers.
Oh wow, they're little elves, preschoolers, huh?
No, but so they were actually quite good. They called a couple weeks in advance to schedule a date, and at which point I asked them, is it going to be curbside delivery? Can you deliver it into the house if possible? And they said that normally they drop it into people's garages because that's the space that's available. But we're actually in the middle of winter right now, so the garage can be quite cold and damp, and I didn't want the wood cabinet sitting in there. So I asked them to deliver it into the house. And at which point they asked if there were any stairs, and that was big for them because they were definitely not going to deliver it into the house had there been stairs. I told them that we did have a couple of steps. They're walking pads really leading up to the front door. I did tell them that, and they said that that would be not a problem. So that's how these cabinets ended up inside the house.
So when they were actually moving, and well, obviously we know how that Lowe's now keeps their labor down by hiring students. Were they pretty gentle with the boxes as they moved them? How did they?
Two guys came, and
they were big guys, right?
Yeah, they were big guys, and
not my size.
No, they were two big men, and some of these boxes are lighter, but others are actually quite heavy. And so, and we actually did have some ice and snow out front at the time, and they asked for some ice melt, and they sprinkled it on there, and they proceeded to move it into the house. Now, there was a checklist that they had me initial by each box as they were coming in, so that I can sign off on each and every box.
So you were like the full-on project manager, huh?
Yeah, you have to sign off on each and every single box that arrived in your house so that you know and they know what has been delivered. And through doing that, and actually they knew right away that two boxes were missing even before they brought them into the house, and they were the knobs and pulls. And so I thought it was good that they actually knew 2 boxes were missing right off the bat. And I contacted Lowe's about the 2 missing boxes, and the kitchen designer replied and said that they're actually going to ship them directly to us because they're smaller boxes, the knobs and pulls. So we should be receiving those in the mail shortly.
So I didn't know that. I didn't know that that we actually have 2 boxes that are not there. So that's something that's what would be considered a bump in the project, where you're waiting on these 2 boxes. So do you know if the 2 boxes are critical to the project?
They're, like I said, they're knobs and pulls, so they won't be installed till the last minute, but they're already on their way now. And here's the other thing. We're starting the project on January 4th, and we received this just a few days ago. So we received them on December 5th or somewhere around that ballpark, and it's basically a month out from a project. So we received these cabinets a lot sooner than we needed to. And the reason being is it just so happens that we're experiencing some decent weather right now, and I wanted these to be delivered when we're not going through a snowstorm and that sort of thing, dealing with weather elements.
So do you know how many total boxes were received?
It was somewhere around 30 something boxes.
Yeah, and we don't have, do you say we have like the typical kitchen, or?
No, I think our kitchen is on the smaller side, but because each and every single thing is housed in its own box, so it does actually end up being quite a few boxes. And actually there's a box that could not fit it through our front door, and that box is our sink-based cabinet, I believe. And it is currently sitting in our garage, which I really did not want to happen, but we didn't have a choice in the matter because they had to move it in somewhere, and that was the only place it can fit. So that's another question I have to come back and ask my Lowe's designer about, because we may need the contractors to come out earlier to break that cabinet out of the box and bring it into the house so it can acclimate to the temperature inside the house before it's actually installed.
Oh, okay. So there's an acclimation time for the wood to sort of, I would say, to sort of gel with the
temperature of the house.
The house before they install.
That happens more with flooring, but because I'm extra careful and I want these cabinets to really stay in good condition, and I don't want them getting damp or too cold or cracked, because we have the possibility of experiencing severe weather. So that's just me being very cautious.
Okay, so it sounds like the wood will get brittle if you put them in the garage if you're in a cold area, which brings me to another question. So why did we have the boxes delivered in the winter? Why did we go with the boxes in the winter?
Well, because we're so excited for a kitchen remodel to happen that I could not wait at all. We, I guess, could have delayed this project until spring or summer, but after we purchased everything, I just could not wait.
Yeah, it's really an exciting project. I'm very excited about it. One of the things I noticed when I got in, and I think I first noticed it coming in, I looked at this box and I was like, oh my gosh, there's a hole in it. So I went around the corner and asked my wife, I said, well, what's up with this hole? What's going on with this hole? Do we need to send this back, or what's going on? So what was your answer to me?
Well, this is one of the things that the kitchen designer at Lowe's warned us about. She said, as the boxes come in, just do a visual check to make sure there's no holes punctured in the boxes, or it doesn't look like the forklift has punctured the box or the cabinets, damaging the cabinets in the process. So, I mean, they bring them in pretty fast, and I was checking them off the list, so I really try to follow the advice and visually check as much as possible, but they're not allowed to open the boxes. The movers are not. So that's your responsibility if you open the boxes. So what I did was, if there was a hole in the box, I kind of just poke my finger through it and feel for the wrap inside. If the wrap feels smooth and unbroken, and the wood feels smooth under the wrap, the plastic wrap under there, I call it good. I think that it hasn't been punctured, and there's no cracks in those cabinets.
Okay, so we're just going on a good visual sort of touch inspection that the wood's good and ready to go.
Yeah, you do. I suppose you can open each box and check what's inside, but the chances of you further damaging it while it's in store open, that chance is there. I would rather keep them safe inside their boxes untouched, but just do a visual check and maybe just gently push my fingers in to make sure the inside feels all right.
So what was the total time for them delivering everything into the house and the garage? How long did it take them?
Oh boy, I should have timed it. I really should have, but I got caught up in a moment, so I don't know the exact time, but my estimate would be somewhere around 45 minutes to an hour at most. They were in and out very quickly, and it went really fast considering how many boxes they brought in and how heavy they are.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like a lot of boxes. That's why I was curious about the time. So somebody would really need, an hour out of their day to wait for them. Did they call you before they arrived?
Yeah, they did.
They did call you, and they told you you were going to be... What was your window of time that they gave you?
Well, the night before they call to schedule, and it's a 4-hour window. But
wow, it's like the cable company.
Oh yeah, it really is. But they do give you a call right before they arrive. So in this case, I was lucky. They told me 1 to 5, and they arrived actually a few minutes before 1 o'clock. So they called me just before then when they were on their way. Then they showed up.
Oh, okay. So they showed up. Do they pull the car up into the driveway, or do they just go usually from?
Yeah, they pulled the truck up actually it was just pulled up to the curb.
Okay. Does the truck have a drop gate to it, where it had like an elevator going down and off of it, or do they actually pull it off with a forklift?
No, they just pull it off of the truck.
They just pull it off, just manhandle it. And,
yes.
Yeah, those are burly men.
Yes. Wow.
So, as we go forward with this project and we are looking at all these boxes, what we're hoping to provide is the process that we're going through right now. So please stay tuned to Our Small House, and we'll take you on a little ride as we go through our remodel.